Throughout these videos, I'm going to show you a simple system that I learned for making chords and melodies that will make it extremely easy to create songs within seconds. Now, this system is a really simple numbering system. So if you can count from 1 to 8, then this is going to be pretty straightforward. But there are a few other things I need to show you and break down in order for this whole system to really make sense. And the best breakdown that I can give you is that notes create scales, scales create chords, chords create progressions, and progressions create songs. So the first place that we're going to start is with the notes. Whether you have some experience with music theory or you're a complete newbie, it doesn't matter. I like to keep things simple both when I'm learning for myself and when I'm sharing things with other people. And by taking this simplified approach, I'll be able to break down something for you that seems fairly complicated in a relatively short amount of time. Because my goal is to help you understand this so that way you can get to creating music really quickly and really easily. Now, if you'd like to follow along, all you have to do is open up your DAW and open up a virtual instrument on a MIDI track. And I'll just create a MIDI clip here so that way you can see this piano roll. I'll close this out, I don't need that. And the greatest part about understanding the keyboard and how these notes are laid out on the keyboard is that just about every instrument that exists nowadays has been sampled and has been placed inside of some sampler and will show up inside of your DAW on a keyboard. It could be guitars, it could be a sitar, it could be dogs barking, it could be anything, it doesn't matter, it's going to show up in this format. So that's why this is extremely useful to learn these notes and this system. Okay, so the notes on the keyboard are as follows. If you start with this note in between the 3 black keys, that's an A. So it's to the right of the middle black key on those 3 keys. So that's an A. Then if you go up from that, it just goes right in alphabetical order. You have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A. And you can count those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 8 is A all over again. Now for these black keys in the middle, there's actually 12 notes between that A to A. So you have this one, A, and then it goes to A sharp or B flat. So that's flat or sharp. And then you can count up from there. So it's 12 notes until you get back to the A again. Now the biggest thing to know is that from one note to the next note is called a semitone. So from this A to this A sharp, that's a semitone. And the reason it's sharp is it's just pitched up a little bit from the A. It's one step above the A. But it's also one step below the B. So it can be considered a B flat. And one other thing to make note of is that it's often confusing because you might think that all the black keys are the sharps and flats. But the only reason it's a sharp or flat is because it's one semitone away from another note. So if I go from the B to the C, that's one semitone. So that's actually C is kind of a B sharp. But that's the big thing to know is that all the black keys are not just sharps and flats, but some of the white keys can be considered that too. So again, just to review the notes, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, back to A. And then the distance between one note to the next is one semitone. And if I skip that black key and go from A to B, that is 2 semitones, or a whole step. So one semitone is considered a half step. 2 semitones is considered one whole step. And those are the notes of the keyboard, just on repeat. So if I start from A here, and I go all the way up to the next A, which is to the right of the middle black key, so that's A again. And then if I go up one more octave from that, that's another A. So every note in between there is the same notes. You'll have all the same notes again, A, B, C, D, all the way up back to A again. And that is the notes of the keyboard. In the next video, we'll go over the scales.